Hey there, gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and I just finished watching the longest Nintendo Direct maybe ever. I think this is technically the longest presentation outside of like an E3 that Nintendo has done in years. This was over an hour of new games, of remakes, of reveals, of sequels, of spin-offs, and I gotta admit that I'm actually shocked. This was maybe not my favorite Nintendo Direct, but it was a very, very, very good and very entertaining watch. But I want to break down the goods and the bads, because some of this stuff in here, some of this stuff is fantastic. Some of it had me scratching my head a bit, but let's break it down. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, this actually began with 20 minutes. The entire thing was over an hour, but the first third of it was completely dedicated to Mario. In fact, tomorrow is technically the 40th anniversary of Mario since it first came out. So they basically showed a bunch of stuff back to back about, hey, we're coming out with new toys and alarm clocks, but also a new teaser trailer for the next Mario movie. Now, I enjoyed the Mario movie more than I expected I would. It was actually a pretty dang fun time. I mean, honestly, it was pretty epic. But this next one, I'm obsessed specifically with Mario Galaxy. Mario Galaxy might be my favorite 3D Mario of all time, hands down. So the fact that they're doing a Mario Galaxy movie, this to me was actually surprising. Now, that's cool, but that's not it. So they basically also said, we're getting a Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Mario Wonder, bunch of new stuff, bunch of multiplayer courses. That's great. But this was the thing that actually got me. This was the thing that got me extremely excited. So literally like 3 weeks ago, I decided to do a 100% playthrough of Mario Galaxy. I just did it again. That game, still a masterpiece. They're doing a collection of Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 remastered. So it's been, I don't even know how many years and years and years since I've played Mario Galaxy 2. I'm so excited. So this is going to come as a packaged bundle. If you want, you can actually buy like a physical box of it coming out this year. They're also going to sell it individually. It says here specifically, you can buy these digitally one by one on the eShop, which is great. I'll be honest, since I've played so many hours of Mario Galaxy 1, I kind of just want to buy specifically Mario Galaxy 2. This, to me, is a giant opening W. They did also announce a new Mario Tennis. I'm not a Mario Tennis guy. I think people are excited about this. It's clearly a sign that, Mario Tennis Aces sold crazy good. So, yay, new Mario sports game. They also revealed a new Yoshi game. And the Yoshi game actually looked great. So, the old school Yoshi story and stuff, there were these 2D platformers. They were almost slightly puzzly. They would have different mechanics in it where you had to ricochet around eggs and unlock puzzles and stuff like that. This looks like it's going back to those roots. This looks super, super fun. Obviously, tiny teaser trailer. We really don't know what this is going to be. It's coming out here in like 6 months. But immediately, what the heck? Heck yeah. I gotta say that the number one thing I wanted from this Nintendo Direct personally is I wanted to see a bunch more of the future of Nintendo Switch 2. I haven't played my Nintendo Switch 2 that much, to be honest. I'm still mostly playing on PC and PS5. And when stuff comes out on the Nintendo Switch 2, I buy it, I play it, I love it. But I kind of want to see what Nintendo is up to. Nintendo, more than any other company, is the best at saying, here's our studios, here's our games, here's our release date. So I like the fact that a lot of this, the entire hour of it was like, hey, here is why, if you don't already have a Nintendo Switch 2, here's why you should get a Nintendo Switch 2. That seemed to be their messaging with it. So Hades 2 launched in early access last year, and I played the heck out of it with early access. But I'll be honest, after I played, 10 hours of the early access version, I kind of got stale on it because I always wait for the 1.0. I always want to play the launch version of an early access game to say, okay, show me the last boss. Show me all those cool mechanics. Show me everything perfectly balanced. We finally have an actual Hades 2 release date, and it's coming first to Nintendo Switch 2. Digital version coming September 25th, literally in 13 days. Man. I'm tempted to review this. I'm working on 10 different things at once right now with reviews and stuff. But God, Hades 2, even in early access, was so fun. They released the original Hades originally, obviously, on the first Nintendo Switch. And it must have sold like crazy for them to go and sign this deal. Man, this is a huge W for Nintendo, and man, I think I have to buy this. I have to buy this 100%. It's on Nintendo Switch 1 and Nintendo Switch 2. Okay, this is one that technically got a tiny delay. Originally, they were saying Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade was coming out for Switch 2 in winter of 2025. It's been bumped to January. I'm still going to buy this. From what I've seen, the performance of this isn't the best. I have seen some people saying that it runs at 30 FPS pretty statically, 40 FPS handheld, but I got to admit that part of the fun of the Final Fantasy VII Remake is the spectacle, is the graphics, is the resolution, is just how crazy it is to see a fully realized, actual physical Midgard that you can walk around with and do side quests. Now, I have played a lot of the original one. I played it on PS5. I played it on PS4. I want to buy it just because, honestly, I want to support it. But the fact that this got a delay, I do still wish the performance was a little bit better. They've posted like 30 minutes of raw gameplay. It's a tiny bit rough. Obviously, you're taking a game that big, putting it onto essentially a tablet, size-wise, not power-wise. You're going to have to make sacrifices, but still, that tiny delay, hopefully that means it's getting a little bit more optimization and polish, right? They did show a new trailer for Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream. This game still looks so funny. I'm not sure I'm going to get it. I'm going to talk to the wife. She's more into these kind of games than I am, but honestly, this game does look so silly. I like the fact that everybody is just going so ballistic for it. When this trailer came out, while the stream was going, the stream of the Nintendo Direct had over 1 million concurrent viewers. Again, totally insane. People were losing their minds when Tomodachi Life showed up. These games are so quirky and silly. I always think about them as like a me version of Animal Crossing, and that to me is great. I think Animal Crossing is cute and funny, but this was always slightly more my style, playing the original Tomodachi Life in 3DS. Now, this has to be, of all the games they showed today, two that were the biggest surprise. There was a remake of Dragon Quest we're going to talk about in a second, and then this, Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly Remake. This might be legitimately the scariest game ever made. This game is messed up. Like 10 out of 10 messed up. These twins stumble into a village where everybody's dead, but it has some of the best environmental storytelling. You'll see doors locked with axes and knives and stuff stuck in the door, notes and messages and tapes from people talking about the dead hunting the living. I'm not going to get into the story. It is the most messed up story I've ever seen in any game ever. A remake of this specifically coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. I hope this comes to everything, but I'll buy this wherever this comes out. Crimson Butterfly is a masterpiece of horror. It deserves the praise it gets even 20 years later. Okay, here is the one entry. I feel really split on this. If I'm being honest, I had a Virtual Boy growing up. There's only 15 games for it. They're releasing 14 of the games. It looks like they're releasing everything but Waterworld. Waterworld is the only game they're not bringing back, which makes sense. They probably don't want to have to license it, but they're bringing back everything else. Galactic Pinball, Wario Land, which is fantastic, Tetris, Space Invaders. They're bringing back a lot. I see a couple of the games missing, but basically everything Nintendo made for it is back. All the third-party games are gone. I see Red Alert is gone and stuff, but this is cool. But here's the thing. In order to play the Virtual Boy classics, you have to buy this stand. It does not work. You cannot play this without the stand. Originally, the way the Virtual Boy worked is that you put these like goggles on. They were on this little tripod, and then you had the controller basically under the tripod. So you're almost leaned into it while you're playing it. And it made it where it had this stereotropic 3D effect. The reason I'm not happy about this is having to buy a peripheral, to me, just seems kind of lazy. I don't know. Lazy is not the right word. I'm not a big fan of this. I'll be honest. I just wish that there was a way to play it. Especially the Wario Land they released on 3DS is a fantastic game. It has hidden collectibles. It's got replayability. It's got a secret last boss. Wario Land on the Virtual Boy is super good. I always hoped they'd take those games and colorize them. I always hoped they'd update them. I always thought they'd take them and just make them normal games, right? Instead, they're doing this thing where they're still leaving them red. They're still making that 3D effect, but now in a way that just to me, I don't know. This to me seems like a bad answer to the Virtual Boy problem. But that's just my personal taste as a person that grew up with it, right? Now, here's the weirdest remake they showed today. Dragon Quest VII Remake. Now, 7 is a game that's always been a little tiny bit split by the Dragon Quest community. Now, I'll admit it, I've only played Dragon Quest, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 11. So there's a bunch I've missed, right? But these games, a lot of people are obsessed with Dragon Quest V and Dragon Quest VIII. Those are considered the best. Dragon Quest VIII is still considered to be the best Dragon Quest of all time, right? By far. So remaking Dragon Quest VII, a game that technically had the least early combat, the least slow build-up, it's a game that basically is a game that's very much about tone, about setup, about building this anticipation. And so it's interesting to remake that specifically. I'm super curious about this because Dragon Quest VII has the most that I think they could change. And the fans would be accepting of it, right? This is a remake I want to see a lot more of ASAP. Okay, I'll admit that Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, this game, the more they show of it, I guess I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. Like, I've now played the two previous Hyrule Warriors games. The original Hyrule Warriors, and then what's the other one? Age of Calamity. And I thought those games were extremely, extremely fun. Maybe it's just the fact that I'm almost getting like fatigue of this Breath of the Wild timeline. Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Age of Calamity, all these games, and now the Age of Imprisonment. The stories are good, the graphics are good, the world is good, the sound is good, the music is good, but I guess I'm just burned, and I kind of miss the fact that we used to constantly get new Zelda games, new timelines. And I guess we got that Zelda, what's the puzzle game called? Oracle of Wisdom and stuff. I don't know. This is fine, but I'm not going to buy this, man. I don't think I even know a single person that's going to buy this, if I'm being honest. Okay. Next up, my two complaints about this of stuff I wish they had shown or shown more of is they did literally like a 60-second teaser of Metroid Prime 4. They showed the fact that there's going to be bike combat. You can now drive the bike around. There's like a Samus bike, and there's like a shooting, and it seems like you're going to maybe drive from like parts of the map to other parts of the map and stuff. That's sort of what they have instead of fast travel. I kind of wish they just showed more of it. It seems like the game itself coming out December 4th, Metroid Prime 4 coming out December 4th, that's great. But it's also just the kind of thing where I kind of wish they'd showed us more of the game itself. I saw a lot of people theorizing before this came out that maybe they would just show us, 20 minutes of gameplay for Metroid Prime 4. I don't think anybody predicted it to be 90 seconds of Metroid Prime 4. The other thing I wish they had put here that they'd given us a release date for, I was hoping for Elden Ring Tarnished Edition. I wanted to see Elden Ring Nintendo Switch 2 get a release date or announce a demo or a tech test or something. The fact that Elden Ring wasn't here, to me, that was an L. I just super am obsessed with Elden Ring. We still don't have a release date for that game. That's something else I wish I'd seen. But more of Metroid Prime 4 seems like kind of a must, if I'm being honest. They also did a new teaser trailer for Pokemon ZA, which obviously is coming out here in a couple weeks. But the teaser trailer was super short, but they ended it by saying, don't worry, we're also doing DLC. Now, I have a personal thing. I always feel weird when they announce DLC for a game that isn't out yet, but Pokemon fans seem to love that. I think a lot of Pokemon fans like the idea of, hey, here's the world, here's how it's going to grow. Buy it now. You're going to be playing this for years and years and years until the next Pokemon generation. So a lot of Pokemon fans seem to be thrilled about this. Me personally, I don't know. I kind of wish they'd showed us more of the game we're about to buy than the DLC that isn't even made yet. Personal taste. They also showed a Pokemon gardening game. A Pokemon gardening game, Pokemon Pokopia. You're a Ditto that becomes a human and now gardens to make all the Pokemon happy. This looks super, super cute. I don't think I'm going to buy that, but I appreciate the vibe. They announced today Donkey Kong Bananza getting paid DLC today called DK Island plus Emerald Rush. Donkey Kong Country fans, or sorry, Donkey Kong Bonanza fans are going to be very, very happy. I know people don't like this. I beat Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's fine. Not my cup of tea. I can tell it's a great game. I'm glad everybody else enjoys it, but just didn't really hit that chord for me, right? All right. Now, the last two things they showed. First, they confirmed Resident Evil 9 is coming to Nintendo Switch 2. That's insane to me. I'm so excited. Resident Evil 9, legitimately my most hyped game in the world right now. I am a Resident Evil slut. I love Resident Evil. I think all the trailers they showed for Resident Evil 9 look fantastic. The fact that they did a completely new trailer for it, thank you, Capcom. But this coming to Nintendo Switch 2 is a surprise. They also announced they're putting Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8 Village natively on there. Not a cloud version. They're porting all the Resident Evils to the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm going to buy all of these. I love Resident Evil. If they put Resident Evil 2 Remake on there, I'm going to do a dedicated review just of that. I'm dead serious. But the last thing they announced, this has to be one of the biggest twists to me. They're doing a new Fire Emblem game. And honestly, it looks very, very different. It seems like still grid-based combat. The graphics, though, just the entire presentation seems so many leaps above. Now, I say this as a fan. I've played a lot of the Fire Emblem games. I've played all the Fire Emblems released in America. There's a bunch in Japan. Never installed them, never played them, right? But all these ones, there's always been almost this like a purposely bad graphics, a purpose lack of realism so your imagination can fill in the gaps, right? This is the first one where it seems like they really are just cramming the budget on this. This looks crazy. What has it been? 5 years since the last one? 6 years since Three Houses came out, right? This looks great. I was afraid there were some rumblings that Nintendo wanted to do something with Fire Emblem. I was afraid it was just going to be something real lazy. I'll be honest. I 100% thought they were just going to go, hey, here's like, I don't know, Three Houses Nintendo Switch 2 edition. The fact that they're making a completely new Fire Emblem game and it's coming out next year, I'm super on board with this. Honestly, I would give the entirety of this Nintendo Direct, I'd give it a 9 or a 9.5 because even the gripes I have are things that I personally don't want, but are still good-looking games, right? Wow. What do you guys think about it? Did you watch the Nintendo Direct? Did you enjoy the Nintendo Direct? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. Man, it's me, Mario.